Greetings, I am Roosevelt Badger.
Greetings, I am Michael Bethia.
Greetings, I am Asia Hughes.
Good evening, I am Sequoia Stokes, and we are DWT Consulting LLC, and for our service learning project, we work with A-Life Recovery Center. A-Life Recovery Center provides drug and alcohol rehabilitation for those in need in the Big Bend area. They offer the service of screening and intake assessments, residential assistance, outpatient treatment, and intensive outpatient treatment. The screening and intake assessments are the drug tests and making sure that you qualify to be one of the patients within their facilities. The residential assistant goes to individuals who are not able to take care of themselves outside in a unstructured environment, so they have 24-hour patrol over them through that process when staying at A-Life. The outpatient treatment goes to those where it's less intense, and they go to drug classes or group classes to help them throughout the process of getting over their drug and alcohol addictions, and the intensive outpatient treatment for those who have been incarcerated after leaving the program.
The organization's board of directors will go through a strategic planning workshop to identify issues, create possible solutions, and implement the most feasible plan to impact the community on a higher level. We are hoping to use the workshop to assist the organization in expanding its community outreach. Mr. Bowles will be the facilitator of this workshop and will work with the board of directors to see that the entire strategic plan is completed.
We will measure the success of our project based off the presentation packet and the PowerPoint, and if they were easy to understand. Also, we will reach out to Mr. Bowers to make sure that him and the board of directors understand the strategic process and the order in which we're doing, and we're going to walk them through it. Also, we have a PowerPoint and a PDF to help Mr. Bowers and the board of directors with the process.
The action plan. So we created a PowerPoint and packet based off of A-Life's situation. We created a strategic plan to point out their weaknesses, strengths, mission statement, revisements, vision statement, revisements. We are planning to email Mr. Bowers the PDF, worksheet, and PowerPoint with suggestions on how to conduct the workshop. With the help of Dr. Collins, we plan to make this project a success.
Our learning goals. Throughout this process, we learn how to work with a real company and effectively use the strategic process to help a company reach their goals. And with A-Life Recovery, we gather the information that we use for their company and helping them with their strategic plan from their Facebook profile and from our professor. And we completed all our individual written reflections about our experience with creating this workshop for A-Life Recovery. So we talked about and wrote it up basically about how the experience changed us and what we learned from the experience.
So we do recommend that the company starts the strategic planning year before the new year, just to make everything fresh, a clean slate. And then they're going to utilize the first quarter of every year to start any implementations. And then they're going to evaluate and revise the strategy every 3 months, because that's a good milestone to make sure that it's being effective.
For me, my personal individual reflection, working with A-Life and getting to know more about the organization and what they do in the community. I appreciate what they're doing in the community, because a lot of times in the Black community, mental health issues are big amongst African Americans, and people don't go seek mental health care for it. They turn to drugs, they turn to alcohol. So especially here in Tallahassee, in the Big Bend area, especially in Frenchtown where A-Life is located, a lot of African Americans are struggling with dealing with just regular mental health issues that people of other different races and backgrounds get help with. So they turn to alcohol and then the different drugs. So they need that help. They need that help that A-Life provides to not be able to no longer be addicted to that drug. So with A-Life doing that in the community, I feel like that's a big impact, especially for me and my personal family. I have an uncle. He went to the Army. He never got treatment for his PTSD. So he drinks a lot and he smokes. And I feel that if he had something like A-Life Recovery in his home city, or if he took advantage of that, he'd be able to get over his alcoholism, and he'll be a better individual.
So personally, I didn't know about A-Life Recovery before this, so finding out that they do something like this was really important to me, because personally, I have somebody that was addicted to drugs and they had to go through rehabilitation, so I do love to find rehabilitation clinics out there. For me, what I would love to see is A-Life get bigger, because I know they can have an impact that could change the Big Bend area, and not only the students, but the community, the homeless people. I know that there's a lot that they would love to do, but they can't because of their size. because I didn't even know where it was located at first. So I feel like doing this for them is it's good because I can service the community and help them service everybody else. So it's like a chain reaction of how a service learning project like this can really impact a community like Tallahassee.
Okay. A Life Recovery is an organization that focuses on helping other people who's in need. I say that because, like, after doing some research, they help out people who have some abuse problems, who are addicted to drugs and other problems that they really can't fight on their own. So A Life Recovery will provide that support to help them to get over it or kick that habit. And I feel like that's really like productive when it comes to a community like Tallahassee or just in this area alone, because you have people from different age groups who all suffer from different things, like from teenagers who have different drug problems to older people who have alcohol problems. So working with A Life Recovery, I feel like they address certain things that really help out the community, and it's a great start. So, but what I will say is that A Life Recovery, they're a little bit unorganized at times. So coming with our strategic process, we're going to help out A Life Recovery when it comes to their how they run their organization, and then when it comes to how many people they affect, because I feel like A Life Recovery can affect a larger group of people. So hopefully with our PowerPoint and with our presentation, we can kind of get the board of directors and get Mr. Bowers to implement this plan and like better affect the community. Great.
So A Life Recovery is an organization that I really appreciate personally. It's helped people that I know who have been through the court system. I believe it's a great program. They help out in the community a lot, especially in this college town. People suffer from alcoholism much more than you think. It's more prominent in the college students than it is anywhere, and I feel like we don't go get help about it. But if A Life Recovery was to, be on a larger scale, get out there and make themselves known, A Life Recovery could have a big impact on college students. Learning more about them through the Service Learning Project, I'm very appreciative of what they do for people. Greetings, I am Asia Hughes.
Good evening, I am Sequoia Stokes,
Greetings, I am Michael Bethia.
Greetings, I am Roosevelt Badger.
and we are DWT Consulting LLC. The organization that we had chose to work with was A Life Recovery, the organization that edit that out. The organization that we chose to work with was A Life.
Dealing with A Life Recovery, at first I didn't know really much about it, but after doing some research about the company or the organization, I found out a lot of different things about, like, I guess their benefits and like how they help out within the community. But what I will say is, like, after doing some research and looking into like the actual organization, there are some unorganized bull crap, because I'm gonna restart this.
A Life Recovery could have a huge impact on the college students in the Big Bend area. Press in.